Yes, dear scholars, in the last session, we started discussing this topic, the Bush administration and democracy assistance in the Arab Gulf states. And we discussed some of the policy shift in American foreign policy vis-a-vis democracy promotion in the Middle East, including the Gulf countries. And we also discussed some background points before 9/11, how the American policy was focused on stability in the Middle East rather than promotion of democracy. Then, after the 9/11, there was a sudden change in American policy towards the Middle East, and the Bush administration linked American security to democracy and human rights in the Middle East, in the Arab world. So, a freedom agenda was launched, and a lot of initiatives were taken. Several projects and organizations were created to implement the freedom agenda in the Middle East. And in this section, we are going to discuss the departments which were involved, American departments of the American government, and the programs which were involved, and the initiatives which took part in the promotion of democracy and human rights in the Arab Gulf states. You know, Arabian Peninsula. Arabian Peninsula.
Yes, sir.
No, Arabian Peninsula. Peninsula means, yes, like an island. A territory which is like, it is not an island, but it is like an island. Okay, so the Arabian Peninsula, on its one side is the Persian Gulf, on its one side is the Red Sea, and on this side also the Arabian Sea, and only on the western part it is yes. So it is like a peninsula, and you know how many countries are there in the Arabian Peninsula in total? There are 7 countries on the Arabian Peninsula. They are the Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, UAE, and Oman, and Yemen. And Yemen. Yemen is also on the Arabian Peninsula. But the Arab Gulf states include only the countries, only the states which touch the Arabian Gulf or the Persian Gulf. In out of these 7 countries, there is one country which does not touch the Arabian Gulf. Do you know which one is that? That is Yemen. Yemen is on the southern side. It is on the Red Sea only. And on its northern side is the UAE. It touches the Arabian Gulf. So, out of except Yemen, these 6 Gulf countries, they have formed their association, their organization, which is called the Gulf Cooperation Council, GCC. And these 6 Gulf countries are also called the GCC states, or the GCC countries. So our discussion is focused on these 6 GCC states, or the Arab Gulf states. Okay. The President Bush, President Bush, gave direction to the whole administration. Administration here means the American government. After that, many government bodies, departments, and organizations started working. They worked on making and carrying out the democracy promotion policy in the Gulf countries and other Middle Eastern states. The State Department played the biggest role. Do you know the State Department? What is its counterpart in Pakistan? The State Department. Foreign Ministry of Pakistan. Foreign Ministry of Pakistan. It is its counterpart. So in America, Foreign Ministry is called the State Department. The Foreign Office is called the State Department. And Secretary of the State, in the United States. Yes. It foreign the Secretary of the State is equal to Foreign Minister. State Department.
Foreign Minister.
Yes. Yes, the Foreign Minister runs the State Department. Yes. So the State Department worked at both stages. The first stage is the making the policy, and the second stage is applying the policy, implementing the policy. Congress. What is the Congress? American Congress. It's Parliament. Yes, it is the American legislature, American Parliament. The Congress provided money for the programs. Congress also provided the legal tools needed for the policies. In other words, it made laws, legal tools, laws. The Parliament, the Congress made laws for which were required to implement the freedom agenda, the democracy agenda in the Middle East. Congress also kept watching how the policy was being carried out. So when we discuss these matters, various aspects of democracy assistance or democracy promotion in the Arab world, we should keep thinking, how can we Pakistanis benefit from these experiences? Are you getting my point?
Yes.
How can we implement these things here in our own communities? Okay, these are very good practical examples which are helpful in promotion of human rights, in strengthening democracy and promoting democracy. So keep thinking. There may be a question in exam like this. I may ask you, how can we learn from these experiences, from these experiments, from these activities and projects? How can we implement them here? And as individuals, each of us, all of you, as individuals, which one experiment can help us, which we can do on our own? Okay, so keep thinking on this line. Maybe in future you launch an institute, an organization, an NGO. It may help you. These ideas may help you. So Congress also kept watching how the policy was being carried out. Two bureaus. Do you know bureau? What is a bureau? Bureau means office. Bureaucrats who have offices. Two bureaus inside the State Department carried out the policy. Number one, the Bureau of Near Eastern Affairs, and number two, the Bureau of Democracy, Human Rights and Labor. Congress approved the policies and funds for the Middle East Partnership Initiative, MEPI. Congress also approved the policies and funds for the Human Rights and Democracy Fund, HRDF, Human Rights and Democracy Fund, HRDF. HRDF gives money to the Bureau of Democracy, Human Rights and Labor, DRL. MEPI gets its money from the Economic Support Fund. DRL gives financial support to the National Endowment for Democracy, NED. Congress also passed the needed legal acts. One such act was the Advanced Democracy Act of 2007. Do you know act? What is an act? Act is a law which is passed by the parliament. Before passing, it is called bill. Before passing, it is called a bill. When a bill is presented in the parliament, it is discussed. and then it goes into the process of voting. And if voting, it wins the voting, the majority votes is it's in favor, it is passed. Then in Pakistan, the president signs it. When president signs the bill which is already passed by the parliament, it becomes an act. Okay. One such act was the Advanced Democracy Act of 2007. Another one was the 9/11 Commission International Implementation Act of 2007. These acts encourage and help the Saudi government to bring reforms in many areas. Under these acts, the US gives financial help to governments that reform their educational systems. It is believed that the act helps address the root causes of religious extremism in Saudi Arabia. The act explains why Congress believes its role is important. The act says Saudi Arabia has very few political avenues for citizens. The act says the situation is a threat to US security, to world security, and even Saudi Arabia's own security. The act says Saudi Arabia must bring political and economic reforms. These include giving more political rights to citizens. These include increasing the rights of women. These include deep educational reforms. The act says the US policy is to support Saudi Arabia in making political, economic, and social reforms. So, Congress pushed Saudi Arabia to bring reforms in political, social, and economic areas. The Bush administration launched at least 14 programs and initiatives from 2000 to 2008. Here is the list of these 14 programs. So I worked a lot to prepare this list. I collected data from so many sources, from internet, from newspapers, from books, from journal articles, from magazines, from websites of various organizations, and then I prepared this list. Prepared myself. Uh, One, Middle East and North Africa Business Women's Network, MENA BWN, in 2006. Broader Middle East and North Africa BMENA in 2004. US Saudi Arabian Strategic Dialogue, CESRIS, 2005. The Middle East Partnership Initiative, MEPI, 2002. MEPI Alumni Network, 2002. Radio Sawa, 2002. Office of Global Communication, 2002. American Kuwaiti Alliance, AKA, was launched in 2003. Middle East Free Trade Area, MEFTA, was started in 2003. Foundation for the Future and Fund for the Future and Forum for the Future, all three were launched in 2005. US Saudi Arabian Strategic Dialogue, Bahrain Forum for Public Private Partnership. There is some missing in this slide. I had the years here, but they are not visible here. These programs helped democracy promotion in different ways. Now, the next section is awareness campaign. Awareness about democracy, awareness about human rights. It is very fundamental to promote democracy or human rights. Not only we need to know the rights of others, we also need to know our own rights.
Yes, sir.
Majority of the people, they even do not know their rights. And the result is, because they don't know their rights, others violate their rights and they just tolerate it. They tolerate it because they don't know their right has been violated. Okay. For example, if this bottle, I know this bottle is mine. If someone steals, I will get to know. But if I'm not sure whether it is mine or not, and someone steals, I will not know my property has been stolen. Okay. So our rights are our property. So we must know, we must understand what are our rights. So that is why I included the International Declaration of Human Rights in your course. And I would also like the girls to study the CEDA. Yes, CEDAW, CEDA. It is International Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. It is also prepared by the United Nations. So all of you must study this CEDA. You will get to know what are the international standards of women rights. Very important, very important. And in future, you can also conduct research in its light. For example, you can come up with a topic that what are the rights expressed, mentioned, women rights expressed in the CEDA, and how much, how many of them are implemented in Sargodha or in Court Women, okay, in Miyawali, for example, in Faisalabad. So this, it will become a very good topic for your research. So you will also enjoy it a lot because during the process you will become more aware of your rights, and in future you will be able to tell others what are their rights and who are violating them and how can they be protected. So we need to understand our rights. So all these things, they required awareness campaign. Awareness campaigns are important in this context. So the American government launched an awareness campaign in the Middle East countries, including the Arab Gulf states. Awareness campaigns are very important for promoting democracy. Their importance cannot be overstated. An awareness campaign for democratization can include many different activities. It can include many types of efforts. The Bush administration started propaganda campaigns for this purpose. It organized trips, tours, and exchange visits. The purpose was to increase people to people contacts between Americans and Arabs from the Gulf. Conferences, video conferences, and seminars were held. Group discussions were arranged. Debates, dialogues, and forums were arranged. A large number of issues related to democratization were discussed in these events. Issues related to reform in the Gulf were also discussed. These events were held inside and outside the Gulf region. People from democratic countries other than America also joined these people to people events. Many people from the Gulf got a chance to hear talks on democracy. Many people from the Gulf got a chance to talk about human rights. They talked about women's empowerment and they also talked about reforms. All these activities helped spread the demand for democratic governance among the people in the Gulf. These activities played a major role in spreading this message. The administration worked with many institutions and organizations. Among these organizations were public organizations, public private organizations, international organizations, and local private organizations. These groups helped in pushing the democratization agenda forward. Because of this wide involvement, the administration was able to reach larger audiences in the Gulf. The activities were spread out geographically. The activities were spread out across different months and years. Many different venues were selected. In fact, spreading activities across time and place is an important part of an effective awareness campaign. For example, if you are running an awareness campaign in Sargodha district, so if all the activities are carried out in Sargodha University, will it be effective? Or will it be more effective if some of the activities are carried out in the city and in various parts of the city? and some are in the villages, some in Balwal, some in other tehsils. So this way it will be more effective. It is just spread over various areas. If it is focused only one area, it will not be as effective. MEPI focused on encouraging engagement between youth from Arab and democratic countries. MEPI programs had a public diplomacy agenda. Some MEPI programs connected participants from Arab countries with Americans. In some programs, Arabs were invited to America. The purpose was to create interactions for promoting reforms. MEPI Alumni Network played an important role in the awareness campaign. The Forum for the Future also played an important role. Both helped run the awareness campaign through debate and dialogue. In 2008, the fifth Forum for the Future was held in Dubai. The slow pace of democratic reform was discussed. The need to engage the youth in civil society organizations was discussed. Corruption was also discussed. Corruption was treated as a sign of bad governance. At the first regional summit of the MEPI Alumni Network, 16 panels were formed. These panels discussed how to expand civic activism in different areas of life. Panels discussed issues about government institutions, about electoral reforms, free media education, women empowerment, and legal restrictions on NGOs. Participants also talked about how to empower entrepreneurs and how to promote public private partnerships. Activities of the American Kuwaiti Alliance helped spread liberal democratic norms in Kuwait. In September 2008, the Alliance hosted a traditional Kuwaiti cultural gathering. It is called Ramadan Gabga. People from Kuwaiti and American governments attended the Gabga. People from different sectors of Kuwaiti society also attended the event. Among them were business people, academics, and members of the US Embassy in Kuwait. So, American diplomats, they also attended the Gabga event, Ramadan Gabga. Such exchanges promoted cultural understanding. They encouraged the sharing of values. In the next month, the Alliance arranged another get together. It was held in honor of the Young American Business Fellow Association. Students from Kuwait University also took part. A special radio station called Radio Sawa was launched for the Middle East. Radio Sawa also broadcasts live on the internet. Its website has a separate transmission for the Gulf region. Many topics were discussed at different forums. Political freedoms were discussed, religious tolerance was discussed, and ethnic tolerance was also discussed at different forums. In 2004, the National Union of Kuwaiti Students held its annual conference. The American Kuwaiti Alliance sponsored that conference. In 2007, the Alliance organized a multi city tour for Kuwaiti dignitaries. They visited Washington, Chicago, and Atlanta. Six American corners and universities in Oman became centers for democratic awareness activities. The US State Department launched the Democracy Video Challenge on International Democracy Day, September 15, 2008. This day is celebrated every year. We also celebrate it, and for several years we have been organizing a seminar. Our department organizes a seminar on International Day of Democracy. I have addressed many of these seminars. This year we also had a seminar, and we invited politicians from all three major parties. Do you remember this?
I think so.
Yes,
I don't think
yes.
so.
On 15th September this year, we had a seminar, democracy seminar, in connection with the International Day of Democracy, and we invited politicians from PMLN, PPP, and PTI, and they addressed the seminar.
Yes.
And last year also we had, and the year before last year we had. So it is a good time to make some activity, to carry out some activities for democracy or human rights. So the American State Department launched a video competition in the Middle East. So in this competition, many partners collaborated in this project. Young video makers were invited to complete the sentence. What was the sentence? Democracy is. Democracy. The video would start with these two words. Then the video would explain what is democracy. So it was the competition. 3 minute video. In a 3 minute video, more than 900 people from 95 countries participated. They sent videos. And young people from the Gulf also participated. Six winners from six regions of the world were chosen online. One of them, Roding Hamidi, was from the UAE. Winners were invited to visit New York, Washington, and Los Angeles. They met democracy related groups. They visited film and media organizations. This competition became a multidimensional activity for democratic awareness. A Kuwaiti official took part in an International Visitor Leadership Program (IVLP) program in 2007. The main focus of that IVLP program was interfaith harmony. With this chapter comes to, with this section, I think, comes to an end. And in the next session,